Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds.
Well, we're starting this off with a bang. This is how I felt rushing to make my flight in Chicago on the way to Over the Edge this past year.
Moving was a sacrifice that the island demanded.
Buck you, Dunlock.
Only the thing is, we're going to have to take the boy.
What? What'd you say?
The boy. We're going to have to take him.
Hey, what the hell's going on here? Who are you people?
Just give us the boy.
Jake is so stressed. Look at his face.
I didn't think that was going to be a good thing, but
I was trying to look all happy, like, yay, rescue.
I did too. There she goes with that weird ass run again.
Shut up.
I'm going to end here. Of course.
Jake, you can't be annoyed. We had to wait a fucking year.
A year.
I understand. I was waiting for a lot of answers, which I mean, there are 5 seasons to answer stuff, so I'm not. Welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds for the finale of season 1 of Lost. Gregg, Michael, Kristin, Kevin, and I are here to talk about Exodus Part 3. So let's kick it off. What did you guys think?
Awesome.
It's so good. It's so freaking
What an episode.
If we all don't have the exact same ranking at the end of this podcast, I'm quitting.
If we can't come together on this one, there's no hope for us.
Live together, die alone, y'all.
The thing is that it holds up so well on its own. It's so good to watch when you know what's coming up later, but also when you watch for the first time in 2005, when you watched it live, and you better have watched it live with the other 20 million people. It was so good that it is good from every aspect. It's not like, you know, sometimes you watch a show and you go back and you watch it like, oh, well, this is kind of, no, this is like, it's so good. It's so good.
But also to point out, oh, go ahead, Michael.
This is like Lost was just cheap television in terms of, you watched that episode and then it was almost good that you had 4 months, as much as we wanted the next episode immediately. Like talking to everyone watched Lost, everyone that I knew watched Lost. It's like going into work the next day and be like, did you see Lost? I was 14, going into school the next day.
Yes.
Like, did you see that finale? Like, holy shit. There was like such a community about it. And this was just a perfect finale. It's amazing.
Yes.
Love it.
Talk about I was in college, like talk about it waiting for class the next day. Like, and then I was working, like talk about it at work. Like, do you guys watch Lost? Okay, great. What did you think? Like, it's so good.
Well, and also to point out here, this is a 3-part finale, which is hard to do. And each one of those 3 parts holds its own weight. There's not one, like we mentioned, the last one was like the kind of the setter up kind of one, but there's still so much that happened in that it's not even a setter up kind of.
It's still good. It's like, it's not like, it's not
like we could have done without that part.
Right. It's not weak. It's just that there's 3 parts. So like the major stuff happens in the first and the last part. it's still a strong episode. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah. Lots going on. I enjoyed it. I do think like I'm waiting for more questions to be answered, but of course I have the benefit of knowing there's 5 more seasons. You guys did not, so it's like it's really interesting to me. It makes me want to watch more. So like I think it accomplished its goal then. So
remember way
I'm
back
so glad
when,
we got Jake into this.
I know, I'm like, remember way back when, Jake, when I was like, Jake, you've never seen Lost? We should do a Lost podcast.
It's so good.
I'm so glad I said yes. Like I needed
We have
to,
him addicted now, y'all.
yeah.
Welcome.
I say yes to it. So.
I would say welcome to the club, but it's more like welcome to the cult, but it's fine.
Welcome to the island.
All of the above.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any interesting facts before we take it to the synopsis?
None.
So,
All right, let's go, Kristin.
Oh man, well, let's go. We kick this off with a bang. We've got our jungle trek crew out there bringing back dynamite. They're cruising their way back to the hatch to blow this up, to rescue everybody from the others. Like, so many different plot lines are happening here. We focus on obviously like 3 major plot lines here. But you know, what starts as this nice leisurely but kind of stressful stroll because they've got dynamite on their backs turns into something. What? So I'm literally stopping as soon as I bring this up. Jake, you saw what Jack and Kate saw, which turns into a whole mess of everything with Locke and Jack saving him and dynamite being thrown. Jake, the monster. What are you feeling about the monster? I'm not even going to go anywhere else because I want to stop here.
Well, so it looked like smoke is what it looked like. So like that's what they saw was like a wisp of smoke, and then we see it when ends up dragging John Locke through into the hole. So and then when they throw the dynamite down and it leaves. So I mean, this is interesting. Obviously so many more questions of what this actually is and why this is there, but I guess at some point those will be answered, hopefully.
So you can stop calling it the monster now and join us in calling it the smoke monster.
Which I did technically in one of our podcasts and ruined it.
We have been holding back. It's so difficult when you've seen the show so many times and you're so used to just calling it the smoke monster. And we're like, oh, the monster. We can't mention smoke.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's like the mechanical sounds and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's also like a little unfair because when we were watching this, we were like, what was that? And like now, like you get to have the 4 people confirm, like, yes, that was the smoke monster. Because we were all like, what was that? Was that a ghost? Was that a cloud? What happened? Like,
yes.
When this ends, we got to rewind the DVR.
Right.
Yeah, because
and pause it just right to look at it. Yes.
I did hear like the whirring of like machines and stuff, and I was like, this is the sound the monster makes. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how that exactly.
It sounds like chains going up a roller coaster. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's such a crazy sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm
also
sure
in this finale, they said it was a security system as well. So we've got mechanical sounds, we've got it's a security system, and it's some kind of smoke. Yes. Those are your new bits of information for this thing.
Right. But still, what? Like, you're just still like, what? You give me nothing. You give me so much, and now I have so many more questions.
Yeah, I'm sure the Foley artists with sound effects had a really fun time with this.
Yeah, and like when Kate says I saw it too, that's such a like but so what? So what? I need to know. What is it? Like, I know I saw it too, Kate. So stressful.
Any theories, Jake?
I mean, it's a smoke monster. I still think like whatever these other people are, like I don't think it's just Daniel going crazy. I legitimately think I mean, again, Ethan was there. So I mean, like, there are other people, and Locke knows that there's other people as well from what he claims. So I mean, must be, you know, a security system put in place by whoever else is here. But I don't know. I mean, we'll find out what is down the hatch, so to speak, later on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the big reveal. Obviously, we've been from the pilot. We had, oh my God, is it a T-Rex? Is it what is happens moving the trees? Like, we're finally getting at least a little bit of something. So this is like just kick this off. Like, they're not even leaving this for last. They're like, okay, we've had you wait 25 episodes. Let's just give it to you right off the bat for you to like sit there and ponder this for a whole while 5 million other things are happening. You're like, okay, wait, I need to go back to that. But now you just added this in. It's just, again, Lost, killing it.
That's not even the most important question you need answered anymore.
No.
There's like a million more. We apologize in advance because this is going to be a long one because we have to stop even within that scene because there's also John Locke.
Yep.
It's like says, "Let me go." And also when Locke sees the monster the second time, his expression on his face is very different to what we saw the first time. That is like abject terror.
I noticed that. Yeah. So I mean, that is interesting, and the fact that he asks Jack to let him go. Yeah, very, very interesting. Like again, that's something that needs to be answered of what he saw the two different times. Like what made him in awe and like, you know, have all this faith, and then what made him just terrified. So
the thing about this though part is like we do see like very first time he sees it, he's got this like grin on his face, like just, you know, radiant. Now we see in full on blown terror to where he's running away from it. It snatches him up and tries to drag him down a hole while Jack is trying to save him, and he still is like, let me go. You were just running from this. What do you mean let you go? You were just trying to get away. So there's a lot that goes into this.
Him immediately going back to that blind faith of I'll be okay is so insane. No, I'm going to be okay. You are not going to be okay, dude. You know you're not. Did you see your face 30 seconds ago? You are not going to be okay.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, and I know we're going to get to talking about it, but like they do bring up in this that Locke and Jack are the man of science, man of faith. But that's the insanity to me of like what Kevin's saying here is you were literally just running from it, and now now you're okay with like the blind faith came back that quickly. No,
as it's dragging you down the hole, it comes back. What is wrong with you?
I think we see it a lot throughout the episode, like the excitement of John Locke. Like he does, like I don't know if he truly knows he's going to be okay, but he just seems so excited about everything on the island, like opening the hatch and like seeing this monster again. So like not only before he looks terrified, everyone else has run away from the monster. Locke is excited to see the monster. He's like following the monster through the jungle, trying to find it. Like this is a good thing for him.
I mean, the only thing that I have to say about this is Jack should have just let him go and hope that he just died.
I mean, at that point, I would have let him go. Bye.
Bye.
Accidents happen.
Whoopsie. Kate wanted to carry dynamite anyway. Whoopsie.
Hopefully it eats your dynamite and it dies with you. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is also another part of the scene that we do find out that Jack did lie to Kate. He had the dynamite in his pack because she goes to take her backpack off. And again, she feels almost like you see on her look of betrayal, like what? And he's just like, just go get, like, it's almost like a parent with a kid. Go get the damn backpack. I don't have time for this right now. And she's over there like sulking. But yeah, I mean, we do see that he had made that, you know, we'll get later on in the season or in this episode of why he, you know, he brings that up to her. But just kind of all this chaos, but she like takes the moment to ponder and be like, how dare you? He's like, I'm holding Locke and trying to save his life. Can we get the dynamite, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew when they first heard the noise and Jack took his backpack off, I was like, Oh, Jack.
But also,
Hey.
this is why he told her not, like, why he made this decision, because she clearly can't follow directions. She didn't take the backpack off.
She did. She took the backpack off.
No, she did not. She had it on her back when she showed up to the smoke monster.
No, because he said it's in my pack, not yours. She took it off.
Right, she was wearing it.
I watched for it. They both took it off. They both, like, she took hers off, but he took his off too. But
Please,
she
all
was,
y'all help me here. She took it off when she got to the moment that Locke's falling through.
Kristin is right.
Yeah, she
Kristin is
took
right.
it off next to the hole.
Next
And
to
that's
the
when
hole.
he says, no, it's in my backpack. That's when he tells her.
Jack took his off earlier because it had the dynamite in it, so he dropped it before he started running. Kate, kind of dumb. She thought she had dynamite in her backpack and kept
took off
running with it, apparently.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. You guys keep talking.
I love that he's trying. He feels that he's this right, that he's going to go back.
I
and
watched for this.
You're definitely
so that's why
wrong.
I'm like,
no, it's definitely, she took it off as Locke is going down the hole. Also, while he's looking for that to actually prove himself wrong, we're going to bring up these two, kind of minuscule things, but they're so touching here. We have Jin and Michael on the boat, or on the raft, if you will. And this is such a touching moment. Like, obviously, Michael is talking to him about, like, oh, Sun taught you this stuff. Man, what a great woman, blah, blah, blah. Hands him back the watch. And if we remember, like, he almost got murdered over this watch. So he's handing him back the watch, to which then Jin goes, no, here's the watch. That moment is so huge and touching that it's just like, wow. Like, in there, you don't even need much for that, like, for that whole scene. There's no words. There's just, to think about where we came. He almost murdered him on the beach day, 2, over this watch, and then gives it to him. It's just so beautiful.
I've watched shows for like multiple seasons that don't have the character development that Lost has in 25 episodes, like across the board on every character. Like the growth that they've had from, like you say, episode 2, getting beaten on the beach, or 3, or whatever it was, to this beautiful moment of, and just how smiley and happy Jin is. It's just so sweet. I love that moment.
Yeah, it's very hard to balance like 10 main characters in anything.
she reached like this. Is why I thought she reaches like this as she runs past him. She doesn't take it off. You were right.
Okay, thank you.
I will admit when I'm wrong.
Thank you.
I was picturing in my head her going like this, but it's because she's brushing past him. So I thought this was the taking off the backpack. It's fine.
You can. All right,
Sorry, carry on, Jake.
Say it one more time. Hold on, before say it one more time, Kevin.
What? Fuck John Locke?
No, not that one. But that's all right. We'll go with that one too. Continue on, Jake.
All right. Yeah, so it's hard to balance 10 characters in a show this well, and Lost manages to do it pretty well from what I can tell in this first season. Like, I feel like I know most of the characters. I feel like there are maybe a couple I could see more from, but like overall, I mean, pretty solid.
Yeah,
for sure.
The other kind of smaller scene here too, is Charlie gets injured. Obviously, they are running off to continue rescuing Claire's baby turnip head, who is now Aaron. This again, just the determination for Charlie and the care and the love that he has for her. Again, like, just met this woman. I mean, the baby's been around for like 2 days. It's not his baby, but like, he's all about like just protecting them, to the point where he instantly does not, like, we already know that Rousseau's crazy, has the booby traps, all these things. He instantly sees the blanket and is like, oh, it's the baby. And before Saeed can even say anything, like, wait, hold on. Like, he's already grabbed it. Thousands of rocks have fallen on his head. Massive gash. And he's like, Charlie, you gotta go back. It's too bad. Like, you have to go back. And he's like, oh, I'm bringing back the baby. You have no, I'm not going back without the baby. Like, you gotta fix this. To allowing Saeed to put gunpowder in his head and light it on fire to stop it from bleeding. I mean, like, the sheer, like, grit to, like, I'm bringing her baby back to her. Like, I'm handing that woman that I love her baby, and I'm going to do it by any means necessary. It's just...
I remember when I watched this in 2005 being like, what is, like, gunpowder, like, really good at, like absorbing blood and stopping a wound from bleeding? Like, I was like, they're not gonna... No, but, like, Saeed, you don't need a light because it's sunny out. You don't need that.
Yeah, this was.
I did not want to see that.
Yeah, this was rough. I mean, obviously you got to cauterize the wound here, but like to stop it from bleeding. But like it's very rough for sure.
I'll say Saeed could have been a bit more like put his hand over Charlie's eyes, because he's like poured it. He's got gunpowder all down his eyebrows and his eyes. It's like, at least keep it to the wound, Saeed.
Right?
He's gonna be in enough pain.
Right.
Really
Greg,
nice.
what are your thoughts?
I'm betting Charlie really wishes he had some heroin right now.
You won't have to wait too long.
Well, not way too long. Oh, yeah, it's just I remember watching this scene like when it aired, and I didn't really understand what was about to happen. Like Kevin, I was like, "Why are we taking the match out?" And then he's like, "This won't be pleasant," and I'm like, "Oh no, let's not do that!" Like it was like so gruesome. I was like,
It's
"This
so
is
bad."
too much." But yeah,
His scream, well done. That's a good scream because that hurt.
yeah, most definitely. We do get our first flashback here, which is kind of one of the longer ones. We see Hurley. He has woken up in his hotel room to no power caused by Hurley. He'd blown a plug there. But he is rushing to the airport. He could not miss this flight. It's so like to really showcase the bad luck that Hurley is claiming that he has here. I mean, almost missed his flight because of the blown out plug. Then his car breaks down. Then he's like, then they're like, oh, now you have to purchase this other seat. Oh, now you're in the wrong terminal. Oh, now like the gate's shut. It's just the extremes that Hurley had to go through to make sure he made this flight, which we've talked about so many times. Like he had to make the flight because it was his mom's birthday the next day, so like he had to be home. Where anybody could have been like, you know what, I'll just get tomorrow's flight. Like I'm not meant to make this flight. Like she even says it. I don't think you're meant to make this flight. And he's like, well, I'm making this flight. Just kind of like more so just everything that to then see it at the end. I don't want to get to it yet because it's such a great scene between him and Walt, but just everything that leads up to him boarding this plane is just kind of insane to see Hurley's struggle too. And again, we've said it, all of those people could have been on different flights. So
Right.
it's just,
I think it's really interesting to think about too. Somebody says like, you must be the luckiest man in Australia or the luckiest man in Sydney. And like, it's interesting to think about like, we perceive this all as his bad luck, but what if it's actually good luck, right? Like he just happened to wake up with no alarm clock, right? Like
on time or in enough time.
Right.
Just
like,
enough time,
happened,
yeah.
He just happened to get places in just the right time, like to be there. So like we perceive it all as bad luck and like he perceives it all as bad luck, but like, what if it's good luck?
Right. Yeah.
His own determination sent him to the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a fun scene. We also mentioned there's a lot of numbers in this scene as he's running through the airport. We get like gate 23, all the football jerseys with all the numbers on the back. I think Jake spotted like the ticket as well, had the numbers on it. It's like, yeah, I love that scene. It's like a fun little, I like when he gives the guy the money with the hip replacement to get his scooter. It's a fun little scene.
$1,600, yeah.
$1,600, but the guy has the 8 on his hat too. It's and then I mean Greg mentioned too the hotel room was $2,342. So
Wow.
I think too it's nice that they put it like we've seen them throughout and sporadically, but to have so many of them in the Hurley flashback because
In the Hurley flashback, yeah.
right, exactly. I think that was a nice touch because I mean, it's like so. Even in the car when the car breaks down, it was the 42 and then a 4. Like it's just
I
all
know
those.
it's the 42. Yeah.
So yeah, it's they're thrown in there quite a bit, but like this one was like abundantly in your face. Like if you're missing these numbers, I will tell you guys this. I miss these numbers. I 100% miss these numbers until rewatching this time because I've told you guys I did not pay attention to the numbers. Like they were just like in the background, like you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, there's a team of people right there. Like I didn't realize all the numbers are lined up with the jerseys, you know? So it's again so crazy that out of the 100 million rewatches, I've never picked up the numbers, and then to have them all so abundantly in your face in the scenes, like, how did I miss those? So
Right. And then Charlie's in the elevator, obviously. So yeah,
some of us have a flight to catch.
yeah, that was fun. It's always fun when they squeeze other characters into other flashbacks and
Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie as
Leslie in
well. Yeah.
Oh, Leslie. So going back obviously to the island here, we have he has now been saved from the smoke monster. They've continued on their trek. This is where we get this man of science, man of faith conversation. Like, obviously, Jack's like, what the hell is going on back there? Like, what are you doing? And this is where Kevin's gonna have a good field day, but like, this is where he goes into his whole moment of just why he believes these things. And like, obviously, again, we know he was in a wheelchair, which is going to be the very next flashback of him like in the wheelchair, and they had to carry him onto the plane, and like it was a thing. And why we know why he feels this connection to this island, and why there is that blind faith. I mean, I'm going to pose this question after we talk about this scene, but I think, again, we're getting so many powerful scenes between Jack and Locke. And again, we've talked about this. They're always kind of somewhat on the same like trek to the same thing, but they're always like so far apart. Like they're just like not even there. But like when you listen to them, they're like their goal is to get to the hatch, you know. And so like Locke's like, we're gonna go down and find this hatch, and he's like, no, we're opening the hatch to like save the people. You guys are opening the hatch. Like you guys are opening the hatch. Like it's the same goal, but they're like both just not there. So. Walk me through this scene for you guys. Jake, we're going to have you kick it off, obviously, because it's your first watch. But I want to pose a question at the end after we discuss this.
Oh my. So, yeah, you have Locke bringing up, I mean, the main thing that Kevin's about to go off about is saying that Boone was a necessary sacrifice. And my God. Yeah, so John Locke believes he's doing like God's work or whatever holy mission he's on to.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So fuck John Locke. And yeah, just that's the main thing. I mean, that's what I got out of this was that conversation. And also like it is interesting, like you have someone who John Locke, who believes he has that holy mission, and then Jack, who believes in just like the science and the facts and like logic. So I liked the dichotomy between the two.
Are we gonna just let Kevin go off on the tangent and then pick it up, like save the?
Yeah, we can pick up the pieces.
We'll pick up the pieces. Go right ahead, there, Kevin.
I just can't fucking stand him. Like, why? Okay. It's fine. You have a belief. You have a belief that we are here for a reason, that you landed on this island for a reason. You're not the only fucking person who landed on this island, John Locke. You're not the only fucking special one. Why are you so self-indulgent and just like, oh, it's so, well, I mean, he had to die. It was an offer. It was a sacrifice the island demanded. You don't fucking know what the island wants. You don't have a goddamn clue. You don't know what's in the hatch. When somebody asks you, you say, hope, fuck off. You know nothing. You're just going based on your guesses because you think you're the most important person to ever land on this island, even though even he knows that other people are on the island. But somehow, for some reason, he's the important one and he knows everything. Fuck all the way off, John Locke. Like, I am fine with having a belief that we are here for a reason. I am fine with like the idea that like there's something else going on. Yeah, sure. Fucking talk to somebody else. Talk to anybody else. Like, compare notes. Yes, you can be a man of faith, but you also need to have some kind of evidence. You can't just blindly do whatever is presented in front of you and then say, well, that's what the island wanted. Like, that's not how life works, bro. God, so fucking annoying.
Bro?
God.
All right, let's pick up these pieces back up. Gregg, where do you stand here, Gregg?
John Locke is Island Jesus. His legs came back to life, and that's why he knows everything.
Me and Gregg on the same page. This is momentous occasion. This is amazing.
Well,
They
if he's
missed
I've
out.
got a
black
defender
shirt, he's got a
finally.
brown shirt. It's not white or black this time, so he's not a bad guy.
Yes.
He's not a good guy. He's just a dumbass.
They miss
There
playing
it is. Went back.
they miss playing Madonna like a prayer, like Deadpool and Wolverine whennever John Locke shows up.
That can be the Tribe of Nerds edit. We can do that. So, like, I feel like, understandably, Kevin's focusing on the I don't know, uncaring, unempathetic line that Locke says, which is fair. But Locke did see this in a vision, and everything that he saw happened. Like, I understand his thought process of, like, Boone was supposed to die. It was on this track. I get that.
Has he told anybody about this vision?
No, they don't need to know.
No.
Listen, we are picking up your pieces. You had your moment. This is the pick up pieces time.
What is also interesting about that conversation is Locke does recognize the other people in that group. He has this conversation with Jack where he says, each one of us was brought here for a reason. This was our destiny, and the island chose you too, Jack. And the line, you know, you're a man of science, I'm a man of faith. And again, that duality, we've had like the one side is light, one side is dark, the duality of man of science, man of faith, and this Jack Locke dynamic where I've said before, said again, that, you know, two sides of the same coin. And also he says, when Jack says he doesn't believe in destiny, and he says, you do, you just don't know it yet. I love you, John Locke.
Don't tell me what I do and don't believe. Fuck you, John Locke.
We also have to keep in mind that John Locke might be against heroin, but he's totally cool with doing that acid muck stuff that he has. So, like, he might have seen the vision while doing that, and that's him connecting with the island.
So obviously, I know I'm pretty confident on this, but I want to put this out to our viewers too, because I'm hoping they're going to put it in the comments. All right. Why are you the man of science or the man of faith? So, Jake, kick it off. Are you the man of science, man of faith, and why?
I would say more so man of science. I mean, I grew up going to church and whatnot with my family, but I kind of fell off of it as I've grown up. So I would definitely say man of science. I just feel like I rely more on logic and that kind of thing rather than, I guess, like, I don't know, but I also think maybe there's something to do with like fate and whatever, you know, out there. I don't think it's like out of the question, but I guess I believe more in science.
Okay, Gregg?
I feel like I have to go with faith. Like, if I don't have faith, all this crap that keeps happening all the time, it's just happening because of science, and I don't understand why it's happening. Either way, I don't know why it's happening, but it's happening, so might as well have faith.
Michael?
1-1. Oh, well, this is where it's funny with, like, I'm completely different in my life to how I watch Lost. Like, I'm absolutely man of science. Like, I don't have faith. I don't believe in any kind of, you know, God or afterlife. Like, that's just not something that I buy into. But when I watch a show like Lost, like, I'm all about it. I love the whole faith thing. There's lots of shows that deal with faith where I'm like, I can be kind of like roll your eyes. Lost does it so well, where it's like it's such a good interpretation of faith, and like I just love how they deal with that in the show, and especially the difference between those two characters. But I'm definitely a man of science, but not when it comes to Lost.
Okay, Kevin, we already know where you're gonna go.
I am quite clearly a man of science. And like I said, I err towards the side of science. If the evidence is all in front of me, and the evidence is that, like, we are destined to be here, then, like, sure, I will accept that. Like, I am okay with the faith aspect as well. I don't at all like the way John Locke thinks that he is the most important person, and only he gets to know. Only he has the faith. Only he knows what the island wants. Only he knows, he can interpret it. Like, part of having both is that like you share information. Like that's part of the scientific process is you share information so that you compare notes and you see like, oh, did we get the same results? So like, yes, did he have a vision and did something important happen to him? And does he have like a different experience than everybody else? Absolutely. Does that give him the right to just like keep all that a secret and therefore like keep information that other people need away from them? No, it does not. And like, you can't just like everything that he does is like, well, it's what the island wanted. Like, how the fuck do you know what the island wants? Right? Like, he's about to get dragged down into a hole. He's about to get dragged down into the hole by the smoke monster that he was just afraid of. And he's like, no, it's going to be okay. Like, you don't know everything. You can't just blindly jump into everything and then later say it's because of what the island wanted. Like, you need to have some ability to step back and analyze and like decision make and not just go along with everything. So in life, I am a man of science, and in watching the show, I prefer the man of science.
I love that Kevin turned this question into another chance to go on a lock rant as well. It was like, I'll answer the question and then I'm going to finish my lock rant.
I just let him go. I was like, not really the question, but okay. For me, I'm very much a like kind of a 50-50 when it comes to this, is that I do have a lot of faith in the like just everything, because it kind of like Gregg, like there's got to be a meaning behind why these things happen to us. Like, if not, then like, what the hell am I doing here kind of situation. But I'm also one that needs things to be backed up with evidence. Like, I'm not going to run away terrified from something then to immediately be like, you know what? No, like, I have faith in this island. Just let me go. Like, I'm like, maybe like pause the brakes here. But I think the important part here to like really focus on is like when you look at things like where Locke is coming from here and where Jack is coming from. Jack has been like strictly like doctor, like point A, point B, point, where Locke beforehand, we don't like, we've gotten little bits of him beforehand from our flashbacks, but now he's this whole new person on this island because he was able to walk again. So like, coming from that aspect alone, like, you have to think about, if this is you guys, like, we were paralyzed, all of a sudden we're not. We feel like we have kinship with this island. It's kind of like, yeah, there's point A, point B, point C, but there's also point A, like, sub point A, sub point B. You know what I mean? So I think I'm more of a woman of faith, but I do need some evidence.
Yeah.
I just need, like, one little thing.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it's like, I just kind of struggle with like believing why certain things happen as well, and it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's an interesting question to ponder.
Yeah. So those of you that are, oh, sorry, go ahead, Gregg.
I just wanted to clarify, I am by no means religious, but there has to be something to have faith in. Whether it's, you're moving on to the next step in your life or a loved one or something, you still have faith in something.
Right.
Or the island.
Or the island, like John.
It was
I love that the show the show lets you have these kinds of discussions. Like,
right.
It's pretty deep stuff for, a network television to 20 years after the fact that we can sit here and still discuss like this. It's so cool. Lost is the best show ever. If you haven't watched Lost, watch Lost. You're not going to hear me say this because why would you be watching this if you hadn't? But
right.
Yeah.
But if you are at this point, type in the comments, are you the man of science or are you man of faith? And tell us why if you want to.
Person of science, person of faith.
Whatever. All the things.
Yeah.
What are you, science or faith? Just put that. I don't care. All right. So moving on, here's what's really funny. So now we've got this giant section of all massive things that have happened. So I have to break this up. Like, this was all on the island. We didn't get a breakup of a flashback here. So here we go. I'm just gonna stop it where it feels like right to stop it. We see them arrive back at the hatch. They are getting everything set up. Like, we see that he's like, Hurley, go take these sticks of dynamite. Hurley's like, finally, somebody with like brain power. Why are we having fire around dynamite? Can I get a flashlight? So Hurley goes off on his to go put the extra dynamite somewhere. Kate's running the fuse there. Locke and Jack are kind of stacking this so that they can get the, blow this hatch open. That's the whole point they've been here, so that they could hide everyone inside. We have them on the raft where they are checking the radar. Michael does not want to do this. We don't know how long we'll be here. Saeed is very literal in this moment of like, Saeed said every hour. And I mean, there's a lot of discussion that I know we're going to have about this moment too, because knowing what comes up, but trying to keep it in this moment, just right here. We do hear a beep. And what is the beep? We don't know yet. We don't know. So, I mean, I'm going to stop it here because then we're going to get so much more. But Jake, walk me through, first of all, I mean, the hatch, yes, they've arrived over, they're setting this up, but the more so is this kind of where the man of science, man of faith comes in again on the raft. You hear a beep. Like, Michael's like, this could literally be anything. But before they even get the beep, it's, what, do we really turn this on every hour? How long will we be here? Do we need to save the battery? So walk me through your kind of thoughts here on this kind of little setup here.
Yeah, so I mean, this as soon as like there was a beep, I was thinking, okay, there's something is probably going to go wrong here. I mean, we'll get there when we get there, but I also was wondering, is this the beep that I also put in the trailer, like the sound? Because
Similar, yeah.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit odd. It's like, yes, we can get rescued, but like, what does this mean? Because I mean, it is peculiar. I feel like they're still out in the middle of absolute nowhere, and then all of a sudden, these people are gonna miraculously show up like 15 miles from the island. Like it's a little bit fishy. So I think that like it's reasonable to, I guess, expect that yeah, something might go wrong here.
I was completely on Sawyer's side about the whole thing. Can we one? I always talk about growth on this show. Like once again, just having Sawyer be like, "No, Saeed said that we turn this thing on every hour. We're turning it on every hour." Like Saeed and Sawyer hated each other, and now he's like, "No, Saeed told me what to do, and I'm going to listen to Saeed because I trust Saeed's judgment on this.
Right.
He knows better than me." Like that's just a moment of growth from Sawyer as well, and yeah, that's why they're out there. Like beggars can't be choosers. They're looking for rescue. If they get something on their sonar, I think they have to go for it. Obviously, it doesn't work out, but I totally side with Sawyer and his rationale about the whole beeping on the sonar thing.
And like when you think about like the ocean is so vast, right? The ocean is so huge. They already can't see. Yeah, they're only a few miles away, but like they already can't see the island, which means ships could be passing through that area all the time and not see the island, right? So like there could be something here. And then also like maybe you need to get further away to find more ships. Maybe you should save it, but like you're just floating on a raft. Are you going to be able to guide people back to the island from where you are now or from where you're going to be in a few days, right? Like, so like I was thinking of all of that and I'm like, yeah, I think you have to raise the flare. Like you have to, especially once it changes direction. When Sawyer's like, oh, a log knows how to turn. Like, well, then exactly. Like it made a movement. So, it has to be something like, so yeah, you have to fire. You have to do it.
Gregg.
Right. I agree. Like 100%. Sawyer was right. They that was their whole point of going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Still close to the island enough to where they would be able to find it. It's kind of a no-brainer. Should have pulled it. Plus, you'd been on the island for like a month and a half. You want to get the hell off that little boat.
I too agree, but also to Michael's point, if this is because he does bring up here, he's like, this could be anything. Like it could be moving because we're moving. Like, I mean, you do only have one player. You only have one shot at this. So, I mean, I get that. I would probably be raising the flare as well. I'm not saying I would not. Plus, I mean, if Sawyer said it, of course I'm gonna flare. I mean, obviously
Kristin
he was
immediately shoots the flare the second Sawyer says
right.
so.
He was shirtless earlier. We forgot to mention this. He was shirtless earlier. But no, I mean, I the thing about this is like they're the stress of the situation, right? Because like you don't want to miss it, but like let's take a minute to like think about this. Like, okay, let's process it. We don't have a minute to think about it, and it's like all this rush decisions, the stress of it. You can you know, and then you love Jen. He's just like, what? Like what's happening? But like just the stress that like I think that Sawyer and Michael that you're seeing, right? And then of course then you have Walt who's like a kid. He's just like, well, yeah, like do it, you know. But like being in this moment, they did an amazing job, Harold and Josh, like of just showing the like, I know we should do this, but like, what if it's this? But we don't have time to think of the what ifs. We just have to like act. And I think that they really did an amazing job of that chaos of that moment.
The hesitation absolutely makes sense. Like he's absolutely right to hesitate and question it, but like I think you have to. Like when it comes time to make the decision, you have to do it. But the hesitation and like knowing that it is a decision that needs to consciously be made, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So jumping back into this, we have Charlie and Saeed. They finally have reached the others, or supposedly where they're supposed to be. They go out very cautiously with their guns ready to go because they're expecting all these others to be here. They see this fire, but Saeed says there's no footprints. So then obviously we hear the baby make a sound. They know that Rousseau's right there. He calls out to Rousseau. Charlie's still like, he's like, come out here, you little bitch. You know, he's mad, but Saeed's trying to be like, let's calm down. Let's not make up.
Let's use our inside voices.
Let's not make the lady that has the baby like pissed off here. So she comes out and you can actually hear, it's very subtle, but you can actually hear Rousseau crying in this moment. And it's not touched on a lot, but I think that deserves to be said because it obviously goes very much with the moment of her going, they were supposed to be here. I thought that I could trade this baby for my baby, who's not a baby anymore. It's 16 years later. But like just the hurt that she thought for sure. And I mean, like it's just, Charlie is so angry in this moment that he's just so set on that she is the enemy here that we're not taking into consideration all these things that like of what could be here. And you do hear Rousseau say this, and you don't know this at the time because this comes later, but she does say, I heard them say that they were coming for the boy. She just had the wrong boy, first of all. But we did hear that, and like it does set us up for later on. She did hear them say that. They were coming for the boy. It was just the wrong boy. So, I mean, I just feel for Rousseau so much in this moment that this is the closest she's ever been to maybe having a chance to get her kid back and to have it all squashed because they aren't there. It's just, and then just knowing Charlie being so upset in this moment because he's like, I'm in protection mode. I feel for them both here. And then Saeed's just like kind of caught in the middle of like, okay, give me the baby back, but it's okay. Like patting the shoulder, but like I need the baby. Just all the emotions that are wrapped up in this one scene is just so incredible. Jake, did you catch on to we were coming for the boy? Did you think that meant Aaron? Did you think it was something else with Walt? Like, I mean, your face when they took Walt told me you did not anticipate the Walt thing.
No, I did not anticipate the Walt of it all. Like I definitely thought they were going for Claire's baby because that's what we'd been made to believe from Ethan. Like we thought that was the case, and we still don't know how Claire got out of that aside from like she scratched Danielle's arm. Like that's all we know now. So I'm just I'm interested to kind of get resolution to that eventually. So yeah, but I mean, by the end of it, we at least get some sort of like, okay, yes, the others do exist. They're just on a different mission, you know, than expected. So.
Oh my God, I hate that you have. I don't even want to call on you because you raised that stupid thing, but sure, Kevin.
No, you want to know how dumb I am? When I first watched this, I was like, I picked up like, oh, the boy, they must mean Walt. And I was like, thank God he's on the boat. They can't get him.
Oh my God, yeah.
Well,
I think they do such a good job of like misleading you in that way. It's such a good like well laid trap in a way where you're not even thinking of, unless you're Kevin, you're not even thinking about Walt because yeah, he's off. He's doing his thing on the raft. The thought that, and it is funny again. We talk about Ethan. When Ethan killed Scott, he came in from the water.
Yeah.
So we should have been prepared that these people aren't coming from inland; they're coming this way.
That's what I thought. I thought when Saeed said there was no footprints, I thought Danielle had set the fire, right? And I thought she had come like by the water, and like that was how she like took Aaron away from the fire. You know, like that was. I was like, oh, but I was thinking like walking in the water, like walking like knee deep in the water, right? Like to just hide your footprints. Like I wasn't thinking they had a boat.
Yeah. No, that it makes way more sense now how Ethan got there. So from the water.
Well, I mean, it does pose the question because we don't actually know in this moment, or if we ever find out, did Danielle actually set this fire herself? Did they do this, but then they went like, "Hey, we're coming, but not the way you think we're coming, and we're gonna be on the water." Like, they really kind of leave you up to being like, was this Danielle like maybe signaling to them like, "I will bring you a baby," or was it them and she thought they'd be there and it just so happened they weren't? So they really left you kind of with all the million other questions that they left you in this finale. It's kind of that too of like, what actually really happened in this moment here? Like, is Danielle absolutely losing her mind, or was she just like, I have a plan, you know?
I don't think this is too spoilery. Hopefully it's not. But that's what I love about Lost. And I know a lot of people don't like it about Lost, is that you don't get very specific answers to these things. Like, I'll just say, like, there's not going to be a scene where it's like, this is how Ethan came in. Like, you won't see that specific thing of how he came in from the water, but they give you these context clues of, well, they have a boat. Well, they've come in from the water this time. So, like, it really gives you little crumbs of, like, if you're willing to dig for it, you can put these things together. Like, there will be other things that you will get very concrete answers on, but that's what makes the show so fun to dissect and go through multiple times, because you can work these things out from the clues that you're getting. That isn't like a specific, this is the answer.
Right. Yes.
Well, and that's what leads to the discussions too of all of us Losties, where we can be like, I believe this happened, but no, I believe this happened. No, I think this happened. So I think that that's what makes Lost still so timeless and great, is that even with new watchers, we have Jake having his own opinions on it as well. So it's really cool. I love this about Lost.
Well, and we're able to talk it out and then point out, okay, this is how it happened, just to confirm what, the context clues are. So I do see that. So I'm sure like that's gonna help me as we go to, is talking it out with you guys and understanding like, okay, this is what happened. So
you get the luxury that none of us had.
Yeah.
Talking out to ourselves and like our friends that had zero clue as well.
Right.
Anything else on this moment before I move on?
I'm still having issues like processing this scene now after thinking back to what you said last episode about how she had planned to go to take the baby by yelling Saeed coming out of the woods. I thought that was all like off the cuff. When she got there, she saw the baby and just like, oh, I'm about to get my baby back.
I mean, see, that's another part of the discussion. Was it? I personally think that she that was her plan to like get like. I don't think it was the plan all along. I think when she like saw them at the Black Rock, she's like, oh, all their kind of like main people are gone. I'm just gonna have to like pretend I need Saeed. And then, like, you know what I mean? I think that this, like, send Saeed, if it turns out that way, we send Saeed out that way. Like, I just kind of think that her processing was, I got to get Claire and this baby alone, because she heard them say, I'm coming for the boy, so she wanted to take the baby there.
And, like,
yeah, I don't think that's, she set the fire. I think that, like, again, it's open for discussion, but I think that the others did set this smoke signal, and Danielle then came up with this plan.
Yeah.
At that point of like, oh, I can maybe use this to my advantage.
Yeah,
even still watching it now, I think she set the fire.
That's what I was getting at. Like, depending on which way you look at it, depends on who may have lit the fire. And or not, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And like you said, we never get a concrete answer on that. And like,
Love about it.
I'm with you. I think that's part of the fun of it. Like, I know some people want like a concrete, this is what happened. I'm okay with not getting it. I think it's fun.
No, I like that we can discuss it. I'm with Michael that I think that she heard them. They did set the fire. She knows that because that's what happened to her. I think she saw this thing. She heard them whispering. You know, she said that she's heard them whispering before. So she knows that they're coming for the boy. And so she was like, you know what? Let me go warn them, but let me get some leverage here. You know what I mean? So I think that this was her, like, she did not set the fire, but she used what their plan was. It just backfired on her because she didn't understand the actual plan. So, moving on, we are back at the hatch. We have Kate and Jack. They have their moment. She's all pissy still about this dynamite thing. There's kind of a lot that goes in on here, so I'm just gonna touch on these like main points and let you guys take the conversation where you want to. But Jack does say a very specific line here, and I love this moment. He's like, "Everybody wants a leader until you question what I'm doing," and it's like, God, this is so true. It's so true. Like everybody wants to like. You tell me what to do, but now I disagree with it. I'm not going to listen to you. It's like, then don't follow a leader. Like you be the leader then and make these decisions because obviously you're not liking my decisions.
This is why I don't ever want to be my boss because as soon as you tell me what to do, I don't want to do
it. We also see on here that Hurley's coming back. They're like, come on, Hurley, we're about to blow this party up here. He drops the flashlight and notices the numbers on the hatch, which leads to Hurley absolutely losing his mind. Stop, wait, don't do this. Of course, we have Locke that's like, I've only been thinking about this hatch forever. Let me just light this sucker up. To the point where Hurley's even like, why'd you do that? And he's trying to stomp this thing out. We cannot open this hatch. The numbers are bad. Obviously Jack grabs him last second before the fuse blows, which we'll get all to the opening of all that towards the end here. But I mean, Kate and Jack's conversation, the numbers are bad and Hurley losing his mind. Jake, walk me through it.
Yeah, well, the numbers have been in play this entire episode. I love how they like set this up with that Hurley flashback with all the numbers going through the episode. And so to see it here and like you can completely understand why Hurley is reacting this way because all the numbers have done, those lottery numbers, they've just brought a lot of bad luck and pain to him. And so I can completely understand his reaction to this. And it's just raises more questions of like, I guess, fate and like, yeah, I mean, what, whether they're meant to be there or whatever. I mean, it's crazy to think about.
For sure.
We also in that moment have like the fun conversation where Jack's more and more concerned about John Locke in this moment where he says like we're on this mission now to open the hatch, but he says to Kate, if we survive tonight, we are going to have a John Locke problem and I need you on my side. So that's like another little thing that's going on in this scene, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yes. In my opinion, we already have a John Locke problem.
We've had it for 20 episodes.
That was literally the next sentence I was
again, like why are you yelling, Hurley? Like just take that second. Listen, we're not putting the dynamite back. We're not putting the dynamite back. We're not traveling back through past the smoke monster to go put this back in the slave ship. But like, Hurley, why do you want to stop? And no, jam that sucker in and light it. Like, God.
Yeah.
Such a dick.
That's all I was gonna say from this is John Locke's a dick. You got Hurley, the best person on the island, like the most awesome person yelling at you, don't stop, the numbers are bad, and you like the damn thing.
Right. Yep. Because the island told him, and he knows everything.
Right.
I'll back to that excitement of John Locke, where he's like, there is no way in hell we have done all this, and I am not blowing this hatch up. This is all I've wanted. I don't care what Hurley's saying. I am lighting this thing, and I love.
Oh no!
The frustration on Hurley's face, where he's like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, you broke.
We lost you for a second, Michael, but you came back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it is one of those things that I like. If you're looking at it from everybody on the outside, not John Locke, you're looking at like, you are such a dick. And trust me, we already know. Choo choo. I'm on the like hate John Locke train, and this is a prime example of why. Like, I get where, but then you look at the John Locke side of it all. If he does take the minute to be like, why Hurley? Like, now we have the chance of them like talking me out of this, and I'm not getting talked out of this. This was the entire plan all along. I don't want to have a conversation about it. Like, we're opening this thing up. So, I mean, yes, John Locke, you're an asshole and I can't stand you, but I understand that this was the whole point of the mission. And now if we listen to Hurley, we have the potential of being talked out of this.
But like I said, listen, if I'm Jack, and I'm always going to compare myself to Jack, if I'm Jack, sure, we're not putting the dynamite back. We are opening the hatch. That is happening. I'm very sorry, Hurley, that you don't want to do this. But like, let me give you a second to explain yourself and not get yourself blown up trying to stop us. Like, right? Like, just a base level, like, hear people out, respect for people. He doesn't have that. I don't like that.
It's the classic do it and ask for the apology later.
But like, you're going to do it anyway. It annoys me.
We know. Anything else on this section before we move on to our big stuff that's coming up?
Go for it.
All right. Well, we're back on the raft. What do we do here? We have to make a decision. The beeping is there, and then it leaves. And so they're like, it's gone now. We do the flare. We have to do it right this second. Where we even see Michael go, God, I really don't want to do this. But sure, please, dear God, let this work. Like, it's our one and only shot. Like, it's the one and only shot.
It's the only chance.
Only chance. Granted, I mean, like, at nighttime, I guess we should say. One and only chance at nighttime to be seen. Obviously shoots up the flare. They wait a minute. There's nothing. Silent. Uh-oh, were they wrong? Just kidding. The beeping comes back. And it's getting closer. We have Jin here that's like, shut up, y'all. Let's actually listen so we can hear what's coming. Like, make sure we're okay. We do see that they're looking out in the distance, and all of a sudden a spotlight hits them. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh my God, like, it worked. It's a ship. This moment is actually the most, knowing what's coming, the most kind of horrendous emotional torture.
Not okay.
That I've ever been through of them. Like, I'm thinking back to me watching this for the first time going, oh my God, it actually worked. They're going to get off the island. They're rescued. And we get this whole like weird interaction. Like, you hear Michael saying like, yeah, we're on a crash. And this person's like, you don't say. It's like the weirdest, like, so then you're like, what's happening? Like, you're just the way he's talking, you're starting to like realize, okay, wait, this is the weirdest rescue ever. And then we hear, we're gonna have to take the boy.
Yeah.
What? And it's you see all of the joy and everything just fly off their face here, and it's just Walt or Michael's like, huh? What did you say? So it's like one of those moments.
I mishear you.
Right. What did you just say to me? So it's one of these things that's like so sad to have such like happiness get stripped away. Obviously they like turn, like, he's like, you're not taking anybody off this, and it's Sawyer instantly is like, oh, it's on. It is on. Let's go. We're not playing around. The light cuts out. He pulls the gun. They see it. They shoot Sawyer. Falls off the raft. Jin goes in after Sawyer. Michael's like, what are you guys doing? Meanwhile, they snatch Walt. He's like, no, he's fighting them. They're hitting him. Throw him overboard. They've now got Walt on the ship. They're driving away. Before they do that, what do? They throw a explosive grenade type handmade thing on this raft, blow it up, and we have Michael come to the surface just screaming, Walt. We all make fun of it. Walt! But to put all of that into perspective, I'm stopping here because holy shit, did that scene go crazy? And I gotta go straight to Jake. I I literally stopped even watching. I'm like, I gotta watch Jake.
Yeah,
Jake, walk us through it.
This is just crazy. I was hoping it was some sort of rescue, but I really did think something bad was going to happen. I didn't know to what extent, if they were going to be able to stop it. And no, unfortunately not. I almost thought like Sawyer was going to be able to at least shoot one or two of the guys on board just to stop it, but that didn't happen. And yeah, no, it's pretty sad. Like we don't know what's going to happen to Walt at this point. I mean, you guys do, I guess, but I don't know what's going to happen to Walt at this point, and how Michael, Sawyer, and Jen are even going to get, like, assuming they have to swim back to the island because there's nowhere else they can go. I mean, the raft's blown up, and so yikes. Yeah, it's a lot. Hoping for the best, but I don't know where this is gonna go from here.
I just remember in 2005 my jaw being on the floor. Like, what? Like, even watching it, like, I don't know, maybe because I've had too many speeding tickets in my day. But when someone shines a spotlight on me, I get a little nervous. So like,
clench up,
right? Like, ooh, who's that? Why are they shining a light? Why don't I'm going to move? But like, I remember having that, like, okay, this is really like exciting, like triumphant music, but like, I don't like the way that feels, and like, kind of having that trauma. And then it's a little tiny boat, and I'm like, where did that boat come from? And then the way he talks, and like, I think a lot of people up here, I was always kind of down here, but we're all going like this as that scene goes on. And like, just like, you can't kidnap. Like, when I watch movies and TV, like, don't hurt old people and don't hurt kids, right? Like, the kids have no control.
And the pets.
And pets. Obviously, and pets, but like, I think that goes for everybody. But like, I especially am like, don't mess. Like, old people are just like, let the old people just like live the rest of their days. Leave them alone. And then like kids are just like stuck following the adults. Like, leave them alone. So I'm like, no, leave him alone. Leave Walt alone. And then like, they're just in the middle of the ocean now. The boat blew up.
He's been shot.
Yeah, Sawyer
shot.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty far out. I don't think it's a swim. Like, they were sailing for a while.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's a hopeless situation.
I don't know.
Right.
Out of this.
Yeah, I mean, we know that they're 15 miles out, and I mean, Sawyer is shot, bleeding, and what does that attract? Sharks. So it's like, we've got a problem. We got a problem with Bruin here, and like, Jin's jumping in. Like, I mean, this is so.
Yeah.
For a moment to be so high up, or if you're Kevin, just a little bit farther down, and then to be like plummet. It's like, damn. Gregg, what were your thoughts?
I remember the first time watching it, I thought it was gonna be some kind of like the post cliffhanger to it was gonna be some kind of like Atlantis thing, because they were in the middle of the ocean with no land in sight. That's the only thing I can think of from this scene that I can remember.
Yeah.
I completely bought it because we talked about this between watching the episode and recording, where it's like Jake has the context that this is a 6 season show, whereas when we were watching, like, this was just the first season, we didn't know how long the show was going to go, so I wasn't really like expecting something bad there. I was like, oh, like, of course it's the end of the season, we're going to get, some hope, some rescue. I was like, oh, great, and it's such a happy moment, and then that is just a punch in the stomach when you're not seeing it coming at all.
Yeah.
Like, so crazy. We're gonna have to take the boy, and that actor's performance as well. Like, he does such a good job. He goes from like kind of smiley to so menacing in like a couple of seconds.
You don't say, huh? Like, he says it in such a like,
found you.
Yeah, just like a wow! I can't believe we happened to find you. By the way,
or
like no.
Yeah, I mean, just really honestly, like, just to think about this is in terms of first time watcher. What I mean, yes, Jake does have the knowing that it's 6 seasons and things like this, but it, like I said, it just you see this like joy. It's more them. They're acting of it all. You're feeling their joy, like, and then you're starting to smile. Like, you find yourself smiling because they're smiling, and then that one line, and everybody goes, "What? Huh?" And then so the confusion, and then it gets to the no, 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 no. Like, it. There are so many emotions just in this one scene, and it's like what 3 minutes, like crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just mind blown. Great job, Lost, again. We also see that Charlie has returned with Saeed and has brought Turnip Head, aka Aaron, back to Claire. It's the cutest thing. What's not so cute? Virgin Mary statues filled with heroin.
Yeah.
Charlie. Naughty boy. But also we see Shannon run horribly weird all the way into Saeed's arm. I gave her stuff earlier. I gave it to her earlier. It's time to come back. But yeah, but again, it's showing that she like she's a lot of spoon. So like, I mean, Saeed's really the only thing that kind of the only person that even cares about her on this island because she's so menacingly annoying. But I gave it to you. I told you have to take these moments. But anyway, I'll be nice. But yeah, we do see that she has run to Saeed. This is her moment. Like, I've missed you. Like, I can't lose you. Like, I was scared I'd never see you again. All these types of things. And then we get this beautiful montage of all of them boarding the plane. And I'm stopping it here because this is just the music, it brings tears to your eyes. Because here's the thing too, in this moment, we're seeing them all, they're joining, like they're boarding this plane. They're all filled with like, you've got Jin holding the watch, like thinking what's going through his head in that moment of like, my God, I thought we were gonna get away, but they know that we're gonna do it. Like all these things. Sun being like, I was just about to leave him, but like he sent me a flower. Like, I'm back in this. Got Claire pregnant as all get out, ready to go give this baby up. We've got Arts. God knows what Arts is doing, but he's there somehow. We got Michael and Walt. We know that their story is here, that they literally just got thrown into this father-son relationship, trying to navigate that. We've got Locke that it just had to be carried onto a plane. Can't do his walkabout. He's so upset. Jack just fought with them to put the coffin on the plane. Like, knowing all of these things and knowing what's about to happen to them, and then they're gonna plane crash and be on this island. It's kind of that full circle moment that we got from the pilot, and I think that this was so chef's kiss, spot on how to end a season. Like, my God, it's just so beautiful. So, Jake, what were your thoughts on this moment here?
Really cool moment it definitely feels like the end of the season with something like showing a montage of them beginning that fateful journey by getting on this plane and back to where it all started. Like, I definitely feel like that's a season finale type thing that they do in shows. So Yeah, I really enjoyed this thing. As you guys mentioned, the music is really good. And yeah, I mean, we've gotten to know all these characters, so it's cool to kind of, yeah, see them one last time right before disaster. So
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. We've talked a couple of times about like we have to remember like Jack was literally on his way to his dad's funeral when the plane like it's a good reminder of like where they all were when this started because especially for those of us who watched it live, this is months later, right? Like it started in September and it's now May. Like reminder, yes, there's been character growth, yes, a lot has changed. Like this is where it all started. And like this is what like a lot of them are still dealing with. Like Charlie's still dealing with the addiction. Yeah, like Boone and Shannon, like Shannon's got to deal. Like he literally was in the real world, even after they're fighting in the airport. Like he was ready with the inhaler, and like he's gone. And so like it's really
so useful that way. I mean, I know she doesn't know what that's like, but
I do want to. A thing that I did not realize at the time. So back in 2005, I did not know this. One of my best friends ever, who I met after Lost was on. I mean, he had a drug problem. We had to send him to rehab. But he had to at one point. He knew he needed to get rid of some of his paraphernalia, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. And like he gave it to me, right? Like, and I took it and I got rid of it. But like it's for those people, like when Charlie sees it, like he can't just ignore it. He can't just throw it away. So like, even if he doesn't plan on using it, like I completely understand now, like with that frame of reference that like at the time it did seem like, oh, naughty, like Charlie's just waiting for his chance and he's going to relapse. And like, but it's so much more than that. And I think that without like, I didn't realize at the time how accurate that is, that like someone like Charlie who's dealing with addiction and like recently recovered, like they can't leave it. They can't, he can't just leave it there. He just is not able to. And like, even if he like daily, hourly, minutely chooses not to do it, he can't not have the choice there. And like, I think it's way more well done than I gave it credit for at the time, or that a lot of people probably give it credit for. So.
Well, and you mentioned that, I mean, this addiction of it all. And I mean, we've been here, well, not Jake. We've been here for a month with Jake, but like we were here months for us. I mean, in the show, it's been like we've talked about this. I'll have to get the actual count, but it's like 30 something days. And we know that he didn't kick drugs until like what, the first or second weekend. Like, so he's only like really like 2 to 3 weeks sober here. Right. So like, this has not been a long time that he has not done drugs. So for him to see that, it's like,
jackpot.
Yeah.
Yes, this is my life now. Like Gregg just said, jackpot.
Right. But yeah, I think it's watching it now, like with that, like I think it's even more well done than I thought at the time. Like I thought at the time it was a good storytelling thing, but like I also see now like how real it is. So very well done.
Yeah. I want to point out too that I think what's so great about this scene in particular is that when they're filming Lost, right? We know that this isn't a movie. This is a show that you're hoping is going to get picked up, that you're hoping is going to have a long run. But you don't know this when it first starts. Like, we find out later if it's actually going to get picked up for season 2 and all those things. The way that they filmed this, they left this, yes, where it could be open for more seasons and hoping people will be like, yes, we want more. Like, let's sign this. But also ending it with this montage would have been the perfect series finale, not even the season finale, where it's like they did somewhat wrap it up. Like, granted, there was always more that could be done, which is why we got 6 seasons total out of it. But like, it's like they filmed that being like, we left it with like questions. So if we get picked up, great. But we also ended it almost perfectly where we're like, we wrapped it up. I just think that that's brilliant to think of that as like from a filming standpoint of like, the fans will be like bummed because yeah, there's questions that didn't get answered, but they're also going to be like, oh, look at how like that was their journey, and then we took them on the journey for this whole season. So I think that was just kind of an incredible way to do that.
Question for Jake off of that, since he's the only one who hasn't seen the rest of the seasons, how would you feel if it ended on that note?
Well, I feel like I would have wanted a few more things answered. I mean, I just feel like obviously Walt being taken is a huge thing. Like that would be like a bummer ending to not to have it end there in that way. And then like obviously to open the hatch, as we're going to talk about shortly, like to not follow that up would be pretty disappointing, I would think, at least. So
Yeah.
Clearly got another 5.
All of us, I mean, all of it. Trust me, if that was the end of the show, pissed. Would have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right. Kyle XY.
Well, there's another show that I really got into. It was called Zoo, and Zoo had 2 seasons of it, and literally ended at the most cliffhanger part because they thought they were going to get another season. And like you're sitting there at the end of this Zoo show, and you're like, wait, where's the next? Like, I can't hit play. Like, what happened here? So yes, if that's how this ended, that would have been another situation of like, why? But Lost said they couldn't. They were like, no, we're picking you back up again.
I do think production-wise, they deserve a shout-out because when you're watching them on the island, and like, granted, it's a TV show, so they're not super disheveled, right? Like, they should have like big scruffy beards and like long bushy hair, but like, they do look more disheveled on the island, and when they look different, like it looks like those scenes were filmed at different times, and so either they filmed them ahead of time, like way earlier on in production, just like to set up this scene, or they like waited till the end, filmed everything they needed to film, got everybody's like hair and makeup redone to match how it looked in the beginning, and then shot it. But like they do look like different, and their hair is shorter, and they look cleaner, and like it, like even production wise, not just script wise, not just acting wise, but like hair and makeup wise.
I can tell you that was filmed after the pilot, and I can tell you that with the utmost certainty because of one thing and one thing only. My man Sawyer, his hair was it was still that long thing, but it was short. And in that filming, it's where it is now. So he has very different hair in the pilot than he had in this finale. And so on that plane, it's the finale hair, not pilot hair. So gotta love Sawyer for being able to tell that.
I don't pay that much attention to Sawyer.
I do, obviously.
Well, and I feel like Michael's hair got way longer like than it was beforehand. So I mean, you can notice
Sun's has grown substantially.
Yeah.
He had like a bob, and now it's like past your shoulder. Yeah.
Right.
Also, shout out to the 2005 zigzag part that Shannon refuses to give up.
Oh my God. I was going to mention it, but I was like, nobody's going to understand this. I'm just going to leave it. I so almost mentioned this when they were on the beach. Y'all don't know the zigzag part. That was real.
Like her hair is more disheveled now, but like it's still got the zigzag part, and I love that for her.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I almost brought that up in the last episode. Oh my God. Well, the ending of the cliffhanger to all cliffhangers, minus obviously we're going to take the boy, is the dynamite has gone off. It is cleared. They are all running up to check this out. Locke is like a kid on Christmas morning running down. He is like, yes, it's open. We do see that him and Jack, we see Kate and Hurley, like they're kind of off to the side. Locke grabs the torch from Kate. He's like, I don't have time for this. Give me this. Like, I'm ready to go. And we do see that Jack and Locke look down, and we get a camera fade far down. So what is this thing, and where is this going to lead? What's going to happen? Jake, talk about this moment.
Okay, down the hatch. I think down there. I think I said it earlier when the hatch first became a thing. I feel like it's some sort of lab. It could be like an underground mining shaft. Like some sort of thing is down here. I just it has to have like equipment, machinery to, do. I feel like because of what's going on with other things on the island, like create things or have certain things happen. So that's my theory with what is down the hatch.
So like a Hunger Games planning room?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, all of us, of course, know what is down there, and we're not going to even discuss it. But I know what I will give to this is that literally when I watched this for the first time, I had Jake's reaction of as they're pulling the camera out, going, "Of course they're going to end this right here." Like I had the exact same thing that Jake said, and I love that he said it. I even giggled when he did it because I was like, "That's what I said."
Yeah,
of course they were going to do that to us. But yeah,
a thing that I noticed at the time that is the broken ladder, right? So like they can't even just start climbing down right away because the ladder only goes down a few rungs and then it's broken. So like I was like, because I remember watching being like, just climb down the ladder. Oh no, don't bother.
Never mind.
I mean, they can send John Locke down there.
Don't send him because no matter what he finds, he's going to think that he's the master of it.
It's hope.
He was destined to find it.
So we obviously will, I mean, we all know, but we will leave that for Jake and anybody that's not watched Lost yet to find out shortly. But now is the time for our favorite character. Are we doing favorite and least favorite of the episode and of the season, or just the episode?
Ooh.
We could do the season. That would be fun.
Yeah, the season would be fun.
Okay.
All right, so are we doing the episode and season separate or just doing the season?
Either one. Jake, this is your first watch, you decide.
Okay, let's do the season. I think it's going to be more interesting to do the season as a whole now. All right, favorite character of the season. I feel like the people I've been most interested in have been Hurley and Michael. I really like kind of their storylines and kind of how meaningful they have been throughout the season. I mean, we were set up with Walt being like special like halfway through the season. So I think that's obviously been important. And then obviously the numbers with Hurley, that's been super important. Just because of the levity, I'm going to say my favorite character of the season is Hurley. I think just how he's been throughout the season has been just really fun. He's given us a lot of great positive moments for the season. Least favorite, just because you love to hate him, I'm going to go John Locke. And it's just so funny to watch this guy. I mean, again, I said it, Emperor Palpatine, but like it's just he's on this holy mission, and it's been fun to watch, but also infuriating because he really believes he's God's chosen disciple. So
exactly.
All right, who's next?
I'll counter that with my favorite character of the season. Undoubtedly, like not even close, is John Locke. What a fascinating character he is. Like the journey we've been on him of ups and downs throughout this season, like Walkabout, his second flashback of tragedy, but with the kidney stuff and everything was booted. There's so much to that character, and this is like the role of a lifetime for Terry O'Quinn. And every single scene he's in, he just steals it. He's amazing, and I just love his little twinkly smile and like this glint in his eyes, like the excitement of him. Like I said, yep, flawed character, 100%, but he's someone that whenever he's in a scene, I lean closer, and I just think he's amazing. And I love John Locke. Never getting on the train, guys. Sorry. I struggle with the least favorite character. I really do, because I love all these people. Like, it's easier in an episode because someone could have like a bad episode, but least favorite character. This is unpopular, like, but I just have to go on what I've been given in this season. I'm going to say Rose, just because of all the characters that we've had up to this point. Rose was quite prominent in the first few episodes, and then she's kind of disappeared. So at this point, I feel like every other character has had more to do and more growth up to this point. But I love Rose. I'm not saying that she's my least favorite character, just from that perspective.
She's the one who's definitely gone missing, and like I said that like last week, and it's definitely peculiar. Like, I'm wondering if it was like something with the actress where they couldn't get her to film for a little while, or if it's actually deliberate. So, but
that one threw me for a loop. I wasn't prepared for that one, Michael.
I really didn't know who to pick. Yeah, I feel bad about that one.
So Hurley is my favorite, obviously. Least favorite. Son's dad.
Oh, damn it.
No, not that. Like, out of the main one.
I could have said Brian, Susan. Like,
out of the main ones, Claire. She caused too much drama this season.
You mentioned you didn't love Claire before. I'm not surprised.
but this is still shocking.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I could say maybe turnip head.
It's been around for like 3 episodes.
I cop out and change it to Susan. I totally forgot about flashback characters. I love Rose.
I thought that's what I thought we were going to be using Banker because
I think we.
Yeah, gotcha. No, I'm gonna go with Claire.
Yeah, no, you've mentioned that she annoys you before. That makes sense for you.
It would suck to be on an island with a baby or a pregnant woman who's complaining that someone's trying to kill her baby.
Complain.
It's funny, but like Gregg has said this exact thing before. I'm not at all surprised.
That was on the episode. I think we were gonna... All right, Kevin.
Listen, obviously, my least favorite character is John fucking Locke. I can't fucking stand him. I've said it before. I will say it again. Amazingly well written, amazingly well acted. I have no like ill will for anyone involved in creating the character, but as a viewer of the show, he infuriates me. Least favorite character by a mile. And listen, when I was a kid, I hated the Red Ranger. I hated Cyclops on the X-Men, right? Like, I always hate the leader, but like, I identify so much with Jack. I can't not. Like, Jack is my favorite person to watch on the show. I also love Sun. I also love Kate. Like, I also love so many members, like Jin. I even like would consider Sawyer, like, because of his character growth. I love Charlie. I love them all, but like, I identify so much with Jack that like he's my favorite person on the show.
Kristin?
Well, I've been the most consistent of this entire season. So, I mean, I don't think this is going to come to any surprise to anybody. I will give a shout out to a very close favorite character would have been Charlie. But it's very clear and obvious. Favorite character is Sawyer. The character arc of this, like, he has gone from hated to like helping and like caring, all these things. And we got the best nicknames of all time. He had some great quips, so quick and fast in a hurry that you have to love the man. Plus, he was shirtless a lot, and I can't deny that. So, yes, thank you. Least favorite character, again, I'm very consistent. Shannon, the girl can't run. She whines about everything. She's completely useless. I don't care. Turn the camera off. Spin in your chair. Gross. Listen, done. Shannon. I've done this for episodes. I don't even know why he's turned his camera off. Like, he didn't know that this was about to happen.
25 episodes.
I will say Sawyer is a very defendable choice for a favorite character. Like, I would consider him one of my favorites. So that one makes sense. Shannon, what did Shannon do to you? What did Shannon do to you? Like, what?
She didn't do anything. That's the problem. She's useless.
Oh my.
Oh man. All right.
Should we unify over something?
Let's please unify, because man, where are we ranking this? And if it's not number one, what's wrong with y'all?
Do I need to read the
I
top 10?
You can. I think we're probably all in agreement for this, but I mean, do you?
I don't have it. It's on my phone, which is over there. And I was like,
so
oh shit.
I'm just gonna say it's number one for me. Like this is
Basically, what we're saying is this replacing Walkabout is what we're at.
yeah. I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All three parts. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is like it's such a culmination. It's so good. Like all three parts are just amazing. Like going back to like the great scene between Sawyer and Jack, it almost feels like a lifetime ago. It was part of this finale. Like
Oh my God.
so many amazing moments,
Yeah.
so many great cliffhangers, shocking
Yes.
moments, great character moments. So good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not surprising because pilot part 1 and 2 were in the second slot. So the fact that we are basically, I mean, Walkabout had some great moments in it too, but like to have the 2-parter and the 3-parter like being right there at the top, just, I mean, it again, for a lot of people to like sign on for a 2-hour or a 3-hour like finale or premiere, it's like
Right.
you're suckered in, like you're in there. So they did an amazing job.
I agree. Number one.
Yeah.
It's not like you can fight it. You really can't. Like they're not standalone episodes, but these 2 episodes, counting them as one, are the best.
Yeah, like I also like what is wrong with it? Like what there's it's so good. I can't think of like what would be a flaw that would bring it down from number 1. You know, like what would be wrong with it that would make it not number 1? It's so good.
Well,
It's
and when you
so
compare
good.
it to Walkabout, though, too, like it's obviously it's surpassing that.
Right. Walkabout has a just a horribly tragic story, a great reveal, like really lets us into what the show is. It's great. It deserves to be very, very, very high. It's like a iconic This is so damn good. It has no business being this good. This is network TV. There's like generic commercials meant for your grandmother on during this show. This has no business being this good, and it's amazing. And like, who wasn't watching Lost? Who wasn't talking about Lost the next day? Like, it was so good.
Yeah, Gregg, because he wasn't there, or Jake.
To be fair, I was in.
You were there, but not watching it.
So like, I was a little busy.
No, 20 million to over 20 million viewers, like in just the US. Like, that's insane. No show gets those kinds of ratings. It's so good. And like you said, everything from the Jack and Sawyer conversation all the way through to like to Sawyer getting shot trying to protect Walt on the boat. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of season 1 of Lost, except for our Brant Steele Survivor Simulator, which is next week. For the memes and the fun and everything in between. It's gonna be fun. We got the cast settled, we got the tribes settled, so it's just about putting them in place and seeing what happens, and if one of the 5 of us will win, or if one of the Lost cast will win.
I mean, statistically, we probably won't, but as long as John Locke doesn't win, I'll be
Or
fine.
Shannon.
John Locke, Shannon, final 2, calling.
Oh my god.
You know what I think is the better final 2? Kristen and Sawyer.
Gross.
I deserve second. Always second.
Always second. Always second for
Same.
I can be second boot. It's fine as long as John Locke doesn't win.
But stay tuned. We do have some spoilers coming up for
yes.
the new season. But yeah, this has been a fun ride. I can't wait to continue it with you guys. Jake, welcome to the Lost fandom.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll let you guys get to your final spoiler section of the season, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
Fuck John Locke.
All right, welcome everybody to the Tribe of Nerds After Jake spoiler section of Lost. You guys know the drill. If you've been here before and you've not seen Lost in its entirety, I'm talking the entire series. Get out. Move it or lose it. This is where you're going to get everything spoiled. We're not kidding here. We spoil everything, so just go. This has been plenty of time. All right, here we go. Woo! Exodus, y'all. Craziness. We got 3 parts to just dive in and spoil?
There's
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. Where the hell do we start?
Right, where the hell do we start?
I think work backwards.
Let's work backwards. All right, hatch. Hatch is open.
What's in the hatch? The
Desmond.
Desmondo.
I am one episode away from being able to finally share my lost pictures because I've not been able to share them because Desmond has been in them.
Des.
I was finally able to share my Leslie picture, but yeah, I'm excited for him. Like, I mean, kind of leading up to that too, which is where I did my spoiling of his wife. Well, we get to see her soon. So that I said was
Whoopsie. No, so the hatch is down there, Desmond's down there, the numbers are down there in the computer, and that's going to lead to another time that I get super annoyed with John Locke. So there's a spoiler coming.
Wow, we're shocked.
Because he's so...
No one saw that one coming.
He's just so confidently wrong.
I mean, it just leads up to even more stuff because we have like Desmond's been down there for like how long? What's he been doing with this button for every 100?
Sleeping in 108-minute cycles.
Interval. Right. So
imagine being woken up every 108 minutes.
Like it's
awful.
It's crazy to me, but like just the chaos of that first episode where like the computer has been shot. Like just the amount of craziness just in the first couple episodes of season 2 is just insane.
How is he not crazier than Rousseau? Because like, if I don't
he has
get more than like 2 hours
Penny to hold on to.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, also we know that this hatch is going to play a lot of things coming for season 2. This is kind of the threshold of really everything. We know that. So like Sawyer and them are going to come back. We're going to get to the raft here in a second, but we know that Sawyer, like he wakes up and he's like, we've been rescued. Nope, just kidding. We're underground, still on the island. Like we know that we're going to have some sadness in this hatch. Some like just a lot of crazy things that are going to happen. I won't spoil too much.
We're going to see the hatch being built.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're going to see the entire history of the hatch. One little thing on Desmond. How has Desmond been in that hatch for 3 years and not thought to bring his bed into the room with the computer? Like, just sleep next to the damn computer and just reach up 15, 16, 26, 42, sleep.
That's like, I joke all the time that like, I am the example of give the hardest job to the laziest person because they'll find the most efficient way to do it. Like, hey. So yeah, that's something you and I would think of. That's not something Desmond thought of. He's obviously not the laziest person in the room.
But I mean, also this point's a huge question of like, do we really need to push the button? And this is asked quite a bit. That we do see where Desmond at the end of season 2, we see that it's true. Like there's this electromagnetic force that he's like we get the transcript of the failsafe key. Like I crashed your plane.
System failure.
Yeah,
Desmond crashed the plane.
He crashed the plane. It wasn't Hurley. It wasn't Hurley. Yeah. I crashed your plane, brother. Yeah, it's just.
I think I crashed your plane, brother.
Yeah, but like getting the transcripts and reading the time and like, when did you come here? Oh shit, that was the day that I was off, like trying to like kill what's his butt.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, he's only been doing it alone for the amount of time that they've been on the island.
Yeah.
Because up until then, there's been 2 people. So, like, one person sleeps and one person stays awake. So, it's only been a little over a month that he's been alone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot more in the hatch. We could spoil pretty much everything, but if we do that, then we have nothing left for the spoiler section.
John Locke says there's hope in the hatch. Not for Anna Lucia. Not for Libby.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. The fact that I just watched that episode last week. Oh man. Anyway, I know season 2. Like, here's the thing: is you see season 1 and it's so good. Like, we're all sitting here like, this is so good. Then you get season 2. It's just like we're gonna get so much out of this. We've already mentioned the tailies are gonna show up. We get the others. We get Henry Gale, Michael's favorite person of all time. Can't wait for that day. Yeah, just season 2. Just like they were like, we see you season 1 and we'll raise you. Here you go, season 2. Like, it's just one of those moments. We're moving backwards. Walt Walt!
Whoa!
We know that Walt was taken because he is special. We see that they're trying to test him with Miss Clue and all these things, which is what will lead to poor Anna Lucia and Libby. And obviously, at the end of season 2, we're gonna get our Hurley, Kate, Sawyer, Jack taken. Like, jeez, it's just insane to think that this stuff's coming and Jake has no idea. Like,
Yeah.
anyway.
It's also like, I wonder, so like, I remember watching it live and like, I recognized that they had to, like, they weren't able to do all the things with Walt that they wanted to do because just like,
he's gonna grow.
He like, the show was taking place over the course of 40 something days and he's a teenager who is growing. So like, they just weren't able to do it. And so like, I was able to accept kind of like how he gets written out. I wonder how Jake is going to react to that because he's not going to have that same experience of like understanding the logistics of
right.
You can't keep him a child forever.
I was going to ask something similar about it because I feel like Jake's going to feel disappointed because he said Michael is one of his favorite characters. And
the character assassination that happens.
Right. I mean,
sorry, Jake.
I know, like, just hearing Jake talk about that, I'm like, oh man, what are you going to think of?
Michael is a great character in the first season. He's so good in the first season.
He's so, but he's also, but if you think about it too, he is also still very good. Like, he is all about Walt. He finally got Walt. That's all he's wanted. Now he's lost him on the stupid raft. Like, he was supposed to be protecting him. Of course, and as a parent, you're going to do anything to protect your kids.
The character
like, if somebody kidnapped my kid, you bet your ass I'm pulling a Michael. I am getting my kids back regardless. Like, it's happening.
I still think Michael's arc in season 2 is really good. It's just a much darker arc and leads to horrific endings. But he finds his son. He gets his son rescued by any means necessary. It's
very interesting,
story.
Very compelling. But like, he is not the same character anymore because of what happens to him. And so, like, if you love that character.
Understandably so, though. So I hope Jake.
Understandably so.
I hope Jake can like move past that to understand like this is a desperate parent, and he is the Michael that.
When does he come back? Season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay because we trade off Michael, we get Ben. It's all good. Like we've got Ben and Desmond. We don't need
Ben's
Michael.
Ben's going to be a favorite character every episode.
And Echo.
Oh yeah, he's going to be my.
I'm going to have a hard time deciding between Ben and Sawyer. It's going to be a rough one.
What else? Oh, I was forgetting. So as I was watching this, I was thinking that they were gonna get the dynamite to set the trap for when the others come to the beach and they shoot the dynamite and blow everybody up. And I was like, oh wait, no, that. And in my head, I was like, oh wait, no, that can't happen because Bernard is one of the people who's shooting, and Bernard hasn't been brought in yet. It's like, no, that's not happening yet. But they're gonna go back to that Black Rock and get some more dynamite and try to blow up some more others.
That's season 2 finale. It's just, oh my god, this
great.
Or 3, yes, 3. Sorry, 3. Yeah, it's just insane. I'm getting too excited. I'm getting too excited for this. What else do we have to spoil here as we're working back here?
Have we talked about how the Black Rock is the ship that Richard Alpert came on? Have we talked about that yet?
I never can remember what we've talked about.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't ever remember.
I'm trying not to miss anything.
I know what we've talked about off recording and on recording, but yes, talk about it just in case we haven't.
I mean, it's the ship. We eventually in season 6 get the episode where he was enslaved and he was on the ship and came to the island, and the ship was in a storm, and like kind of exactly what they said, where a giant wave comes in. I'm pretty sure that's also the giant wave that knocks over the statue that
4-toed statue
that Jacob lives in the foot of. But yeah, and then he's stranded there, and he's the only one who survives. How does he? I forget the exact thing, but like he's the only one who survives. I think the guards were coming in and killing all the slaves out of like mercy, and then he doesn't.
I think the
Man in Black saves him.
Yeah. As his wife.
So much.
Yeah, so much that
we also mentioned the Hurley bird. You said you hadn't seen the epilogue, Kristin. They deal with the Hurley bird in the epilogue
I know. I still have to watch it. I haven't
Kind of.
done it yet, but yeah.
Yeah.
I sent it to you.
I just said I still haven't watched it. Doesn't mean I'm not.
It's only 15 minutes.
I will watch it. Do you know how many things are on TV right now? People need to know. There's so many things on TV. I'll catch that 15 minutes later. But yeah, no, it's like I didn't want to like bring that up. Like I was like, come on, Jake. Like it's so clearly Hurley. Like.
And I mean, it's not something that's going to be like a big deal for the rest of the season. So I think we probably won't talk about it again, to be honest. So it's good to have it. I think it comes back in the season 2 finale, right? Because I'm sure Hurley has a line where he says, like, did that just say my name?
Yeah. It's so funny because when I watched this with Case and I was like, I thought Hurley said, didn't this just say my name? And I'm like, oh, wait, no, because it's coming back. Like, I forgot. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, I mean, like, we've got, Charlie has grabbed his new stash of heroin. We see that this is going to be causing a problem. But he doesn't ever take it again.
Right.
He is a good boy, but he doesn't just have that one statue. He goes back and he has a plethora.
He has a lot. And like it's not perfect choices on his part, but like I said during the main part, like it's very real for an addict to not be able to just walk past that, right? Like that's very real. So I really appreciate that they did that. Like I said, at the time I thought it was just kind of a storytelling device, but like there's something about it that's so accurate that makes so much sense that I'm like, you go Lost.
Yeah, I mean, now Michael, if that's not where you're jumping on the choo-choo, that moment between Locke and Charlie, it's granted Charlie's having some vision issues and things, but
he said it once. Which episode was it? You said it once.
I know we do. We'll get it timestamped again, but no, I mean we know
peer pressure.
That we know is from him. He's having these visions. He's not under the influence, but then is blamed to be back under the influence of these drugs here, where Locke turns into, I'm taking your stash and I'm being your dad, punching him out. But granted, like he is standing in the ocean with the baby. What is he going to do? So I understand that, but it's kind of those moments where Charlie has been completely, we've seen even in this finale, he went and saved the baby from Rousseau and had gunpowder in the head. Like, been there from the beginning, and where, like, he even says to Locke in that episode that we'll get to, where the hell have you been? Like you didn't go get the baby, I got the baby, so we do see that this is going to cause a bigger issue for Charlie here very shortly.
It hurts to think about.
I know.
What else? I mean, I guess kind of a spoiler that like you can't leave the island just by getting on a boat and going. It'll just return you.
Yeah. They could have got like turned around and they were on their way back to the island when they got caught.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have to like take certain headings. So like, so they weren't getting off that island on that raft no matter what anyway.
No.
Stuck in a bloody snow globe.
Yeah.
As Desmond will say.
Desmond, yes. I mean, the other thing to bring up too here, that we see is like with this raft and things, we see that the others have shown up to steal Walt, but we get our first glimpse at Mr. Tom Friendly. But we're made to believe that he is the leader of this others, because this is not the first time we see him. Season 2, we have the moment where light him up. It's
light him up.
It's a good scene, but you're led to believe that he is the other. And then, of course, when Henry Gill, they find him out, he's like, he'll be so mad at me. We know that he's talking about Jacob, but like it's led for us to believe that it's Tom Friendly, the guy with the beard. You know, we're led to believe that he's the leader of the others, where it's actually Ben, aka like all these other things. But I love Tom. Tom's a good guy. He's a good other. He's a good other, but
I mean, except for when he's kidnapping Walt.
He does.
For good reasons.
For good reasons. But
I think he's just like a method actor. It's funny that he does become this really friendly guy.
Oh no, we lost him again.
Literally Tom Friendly, but like he just becomes this like lovable goof in season 3. It's so funny.
Yeah. No, Tom ends up being one of my favorite characters on Lot. Like not like top list, but like he's definitely not, like, for being a more smaller character role, he ends up being like probably up there for sure for me. I mean, when you think about like people that are coming in on freighters and things like that, like Tom is way up here over these people.
So he is a pretty awesome death.
Yeah. I feel like we've spoiled enough for this because if we keep spoiling, we'll have nothing to talk about later. Anybody else feel this way? Do we feel like we need to do any other spoilers?
That's all I can think of.
I don't have a spoiler.
If you think of anything, spoiler, and then tell us.
Because Jake can't help himself. Also, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching season 1 with us. Stay tuned for season 2. We're excited to get to it. It's a lot of fun. But also comment, like, again, are you science, faith? Who are you? Like, where are you at here? We want to know all the things. So thank you again for all of the support on this, and we'll see you guys for season 2. Bye.
Bye.